Hello guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Lucia and this is Lulu's Leaves.
I'm no good at being good, but I never said I was. And I feel misunderstood, cause I'm trying hard to love.
Today's video is going to be an interesting one. The last video that I did was me showing you guys all of my failure plants, or all of the plants that I suck at taking care of. But today, I thought it would be a really fun idea to take the advice that you guys gave me on my last video and put it to work and see if I can save some of these plants. So if that sounds like something that you are interested in, definitely continue watching this video all the way through to the end, as that helps me out a ton. Also, if you want to join the giveaway to win a $20 Amazon gift card, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and leave a comment down below. To have a better chance of winning, you can also leave a comment on every video from the 8th to the 14th of this month. And yeah, you will be entered to win. I am doing weekly giveaways, so if you don't win this time, don't worry, there are other opportunities coming soon. Also, if you guys want to rep some Lulu's Leaves merch, I do have some available. The link is down in the description below to purchase it, so if you are interested, it is there. That is going to be all before we do get into today's video though. I really hope you guys enjoy it. So I basically went through and I screenshotted all of your comments that were super helpful and gave me tips. I think the only plant that didn't have specific tips for fixing it was the Anthurium warocqueanum. It was kind of a general consensus that the plant was just acclimating, but I do think that I want to switch it over to sphagnum moss because I'm not 100% confident with leca, and while it was grown in leca, I think I'd be more confident with it in sphagnum moss. So I will be doing that at the end of this video, but I thought we would start off with some of your tips and tricks to save some of my houseplants. So the first thing that you guys suggested, this comment was left by Yaks1. They mentioned that my Forgetty Eye looked like it was getting a little bit too much light, which I honestly didn't think of, but I'm pretty sure that they're right. P. Chan also commented, "Thank you for sharing real life with plants. I don't feel so bad now, lol. My Anthurium clarinervium looked like your Forgetty Eye when it was getting too much light. I moved it further away from the grow light and the new leaves came out much healthier in color. Unfortunately, the yellowing didn't go away though." So that is great advice. These were the only two people that commented on the Forgetty Eye and they both had the same idea. So I think that we are going to make that change right now. Well guys, it is a really gloomy day in the plant room. I'm really sorry if this portion is a little bit dark, but we are going to try to save my Anthurium Forgetty Eye right now. It is currently sitting in my cabinet where it is getting a lot of light from this grow light. I forget the name of it always, but you can see the edges are not doing so well on this one. It looks apparently like it's getting too much light, and this one as well struggled a lot. So hopefully lighting is all that is the issue here. I do also have all of these beneficial bugs on my plants right now. I was gifted them by my friend Reptiliatus on YouTube. Definitely go check him out. But we are going to be removing this Forgetty Eye from the cabinet today. I don't think there's any way for me to give this guy less light in here while still giving it the humidity. So unfortunately, it is going to have to exit stage right here. And my plan is actually just to move it over to my IKEA dresser here, because these plants are just getting natural light. They are all doing pretty well too, so I think this will be a good step back from the grow light. We'll just have to make some room and replace it. So I really did want to see if my Villeneorum would fit in the cabinet, so maybe this is a good opportunity to try that out. It is pretty big though, so I have my doubts. Actually, let's make some room first, because this is going to definitely take up an entire side of the cabinet. All right, let's see here. Oh. Yeah, I think we can manage that. Let's see, maybe I can even move these around a little bit more. Put the crystallinum in the other corner. All right, yeah, I think that looks good. We'll have to see if that is too much light for this guy too, but I don't think so. Most of my anthuriums do very well in here, so hopefully it is just the Forgetty Eye, but if I start to see any of that yellowing, I will move it immediately, just so we don't have to go as far as the Forgetty Eye did before I move it. But yeah, I think that looks really great. So then we still have to put this guy somewhere. I think I'm just going to replace it exactly with the Villanarum. But yeah, this is definitely going to get a lot less light than where it was in the cabinet there. And the window is just right there, so it's quite a bit further away. So yeah, I'll definitely keep you guys updated, see how this guy's going. If it needs a little bit more light than it's getting over here, I will move it over to this area where I have a lot of my other rare plants that don't fit in the cabinet, but these guys are getting a little bit of the ambient light from the grow lights and also from the window. So yeah, I don't know. It may need to come over here eventually, but I'm not in any rush. I'm sure it'll like the break from the intense light. I'm really sorry. I'm not sure if this is Gabriel or Gabrielle, but they mentioned that the Dendrobium needs to get the heck out of soil. So I'm not really familiar with orchids. You guys know that. They aren't my bread and butter. So I think that I'm going to transfer it into some moss. I do have orchid bark as well, but I think that I'm more confident with moss. I don't really know when to water orchid bark, and unless things come in it, I don't typically put them in orchid bark. So let's go put this orchid into some moss so I don't kill it even further. So next up is the Dendrobium hibiki that is looking god-awful. Oh, I don't know. I feel bad, guys, but I think I actually might end up just throwing this plant out. It is not looking well at all, and I think it has pests. Just looking at it, it is yellowing and does not look good. It looks kind of speckly. It looks like there's dirt on it, so I don't know. Unfortunately, I think this one's just gonna have to find the garbage. I'm sorry to all of you orchid lovers out there. You probably were right. I should never have put it in soil. I think it might be a little bit too far gone, and I just don't love it enough to take care of it. I don't know, and I know that I could give it away, but I just think that it might have pests, and I don't want to give that to anyone. So I think this one's gonna find the garbage. I was also given some tips and tricks when it came to my Begonia Sinbad. I know that a lot of people struggle with begonias as well. It was nice to see all of you guys commenting and just explaining your frustration as well. But I did get some good advice from Always Propagating. They mentioned that their begonia does well for them with way more light than they would have thought and constant watering. Taylor Stewart also mentioned that the terracotta might be drying the plant out way too quickly, which is very true. I do agree with her. Unfortunately, I don't have any other pots that are that size, but I may go out and get one later this week. For now, I am just going to worry about the lighting situation. And it was also recommended by Sherry that I chop and prop some of it just to give it more of a chance of survival. So I think that's what I'll do. I think I'll move it closer to the light and then also give it a little choppy chop so that I have a few others growing. I'll probably put them in water. So next up here is my Begonia Sinbad. This guy, obviously not doing the best. It was suggested that I propagate this guy and also move it over to the light a little bit more. But yeah, I'm gonna prune these leaves off and then find a nice place to chop it. All right, so I think I'm gonna make 2 or 3 cuttings from this guy here. There's actually a good spot here, I believe. So there is one of the cuttings. I can't decide if I want to do one off the top. I think it's going to look pretty scraggly, but I think I probably will anyways. And then I'm just going to pull off this damaged leaf here. So there is our next cutting. And then I think that's all I'm gonna do in terms of like propagation, but I am also gonna go through and just kind of cut off anything that looks dead to make it look a little bit more appealing. All right, so I think that looks a lot better. And obviously there are a few pieces missing, but we will put that in some water to propagate. And this guy I'm going to put a little bit closer to the window. So my thinking is this definitely has to be in a spot where I can easily water it, because this guy definitely needs to be watered more than once a week. So I'm gonna see if it wants to sit on my windowsill here. We'll move this propagation, which, if I do say so myself, is doing amazing. Yeah, I think it could live there. I mean, it doesn't go over the edge, so if we shift things over a little bit, it will probably be happy. And then we'll just put this propagation on this shelf. We are getting the second shelf really soon, and a lot of these plants are probably going to shift over to the other side because it is looking obviously a little bit cluttered right now, but it's just because I've been getting a few new plants and I don't really have a spot to put them. All right, so let's go take care of these cuttings. Again, they're just gonna go in some water. That is my favorite way to propagate more common plants. All right, so these guys are just sitting in some water in this mason jar, and hopefully they will be nice and happy here. I'm just gonna put them up on the windowsill for some light. A lot of you guys said that you think I should give my Florida Ghost a small moss pole, which I totally think is a good idea. I should probably just get like a pencil and wrap it in some moss or something like that. So we'll see what we can do there. I don't know if I have all of the materials to make one. I don't know if I have fishing line, but we will see. If not, I will leave that for now. But I was also recommended from Plant Spots and whatnots to give it higher light and a stronger fertilizer, which I honestly can't remember the last time that I remember fertilizing this plant. I don't think that I haven't fertilized it ever, but I don't remember the last time it was. So I think that's a great idea. I am going to use some organic fertilizer, probably Marfil, and see where I can get from there, because I think it's probably been a while and I probably diluted it a ton when I did last fertilize it, so it's probably time, and Nikki is probably right. All right, so last but not least, for your advice, I am planning on putting this guy in the cabinet to give it some more light, because it did seem like it was progressing quite well when it was in there, and I just took it out because I don't know, I wanted to. So we are gonna put it back in the cabinet today, probably on the lower shelf, and I'm also going to fertilize it with some Marfil. So, all right, there we go. This guy's in the cabinet. Now let's get some water with some Marfil and just fertilize this puppy up. All right, so I just filled this guy up about halfway, and typically what I do is I'll put about a cap full into a full can. So today I'm gonna put almost a cap full into half. Although I need to shake this up. Yeah, that looks better. That also could have been an issue that I was having. I probably wasn't shaking this up enough to actually get the fertilizer in it. I think there's a lot of water in there too, because it is not a concentrate. I believe it's just, yeah, it's just like a fertilizer. So let's kind of jiggle this up and take her on in here. I will grab my Warocqueanum here because I do want to put this into that moss. So first I'm just going to kind of dispose of all of this leca, and then I will put the moss in this container to see how much I need, and then we'll wet it over at the sink. All right, so I'm really happy with these roots. They definitely look healthy. All of the tips are nice and white. So it definitely wasn't like a root rot situation, but I still do want to move it over to moss to try to prevent any more crisping. I mean, I'm sure this will probably end up dying off just from me repotting it because these guys are fussy, but hopefully that new growth is happier. So I'm also gonna rinse out this container because it looks a little bit nasty. Some algae growing here. All right, so I'm gonna go fill up this jar with some sphagnum moss and we'll be back to soak it. All right, so we're gonna keep a good base layer at the bottom here. And then, actually there might need to be quite a bit of a base layer for this pot. And then I'm just gonna plop this guy in here and fill around it. You wanna make sure that your moss isn't too damp, so squeeze it out until not a lot of water comes out from it. And you also wanna make sure that the moss is nice and loose. You do not want to have this moss compact. It's gonna make it a lot more difficult to water, and your plant is probably gonna get root rot because it's being suffocated. So just be careful. So I'm very loosely packing it in the moss here. And anthuriums also really like to have moss around their growth points. So I am burying it pretty deep in there. You can see it'll be happy like that. All right, so I guess we're just gonna have to wait and see with this one if I did the right thing or the wrong thing. It'll definitely tell me. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that it will stimulate some new growth, hopefully in that new growth point there. I am very excited about this. I am much more confident with this in moss than I was with it in leca. Well, I think I did all my chores. All right, guys, well, that is all for this video. I will definitely keep you guys updated as to how these tips work for me. I'm really excited because this is really the first time that I've had enough people comment to be able to make a video like this. And I hope that I can continue to do this. So I'll keep having issues with my plants. You guys can help me out and we'll test out your theories. But yeah, don't forget to enter the giveaway. All of the instructions are down below in the description. You just have to subscribe to my channel, like this video, and comment down below for a chance to be entered. The winner will be announced on April 15th, so definitely keep watch for that. But yes, thank you so much for watching this video, guys. I really, really hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!